They thought Earth was weak. They thought humans were expendable. They didn't expect a tired engineer with a bad attitude, a broken toolbox, and a daughter waiting at the altar. When the aliens attacked Nexus 9, they expected a quick victory. Instead, they triggered the deadliest thing in the galaxy, a pissed-off human with a deadline. My name is Zorban Vex, Chief Security Officer of Orbital Platform Nexus 9, and I am having the absolute worst day of my 342-cycle career. Sir, atmospheric regulators are down to 23% capacity, my assistant Garl reports, his 4 eyes blinking in that sequential pattern that indicates extreme stress. Estimated failure in approximately 9 hours. And the evacuation pods? I already know the answer. All jettisoned during the initial attack. The Krell battle group made sure of that before warping out. I slammed 2 of my upper appendages against the command console. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So we have 9 hours until we all suffocate. Any other delightful surprises, Garl? He shifts his skin tone to a pale blue, embarrassment, or maybe indigestion from those questionable nutrition cubes he insists on eating. Well, there's one thing. We have a human on board. The command center falls silent. Even the blaring alarms seem to hesitate. A human? On my station? How is that possible? The nearest human outpost is 17 parsecs away. He was found in Cargo Bay 3, sir. Apparently asleep inside a Class B transport container. Manifest lists him as a technical consultant for the Galactic Engineering Consortium. I close all 3 of my eye membranes. Bring him to me. Now. 10 minutes later, the doors hiss open. In walks the most unimpressive creature I've ever seen. Bipedal, only fur covered on the top. Around 2 meters tall. Wearing a stained jumpsuit with far too many pockets. His face contorts into that uniquely human expression, displeasure. Narrowed eyes. Tensed mouth. Furrowed brow. Who's in charge of this floating catastrophe? He demands, scanning the room with those tiny human eyes. I am Security Chief Zorban Vex, I say, straightening my spine. And you will address me. Your atmospheric regulators are failing, he interrupts, pointing to our system's display. You've got 9 hours before this turns into a very expensive coffin. So unless you have a solution under one of those fancy tentacles, I suggest you start listening. And you are? I reply, trying to inject sarcasm through my translator. Devon Parker. Senior Engineer. Galactic Engineering Consortium. I was supposed to be in cryosleep until we reached Vega Prime. But your little Krell firefight woke me up. He runs a hand through his hair. Nice work, by the way. Getting your station shot full of holes. Real top-tier security, Chief. One of my junior officers, Plex, lets out a gurgling laugh. I glare at her. Reassignment to waste management is in her future. Mr. Parker, I say, straining for calm, perhaps you haven't grasped the severity of our situation. We've been attacked. Defensive systems are down. Comm array is toast. Evacuation pods gone. Life support failing. We are, as you humans say, screwed. Devon Parker smiles. Not kindly. Like a predator about to strike. Chief Vex, I've fixed impossible problems on impossible deadlines for 20 years. This isn't even my worst Monday this month. He pushes past a terrified technician and scans the nearest terminal. First things first, I need your station schematics. You can't just. Tick-tock. 9 hours. He's got a point. Garl, I sigh. Show him. Holographic schematics appear. Parker studies them, muttering in that chaotic human language. Okay, he finally says. Your primary regulators are fried. But your backup life support in Section 47B is intact. It's isolated, I snap. Designed only for emergency use in the central core. Right. So we reroute it. He traces pathways through the schematic. We reconfigure the distribution system to oxygenate the habitat rings. Jury-rigged, sure. But it buys you 3 days. Impossible, Plex argues. It requires specialized tools. We don't have them. Parker looks at her with what I can only describe as pitying contempt. Watch me. And then, to my shock, the human works. Efficient. Precise. Overriding protocols. Swearing constantly. My translator can barely keep up with the metaphors. Is it wise to give him this much access? Garl whispers. Have a better idea? I whisper back. What's the worst he can do, kill us faster? I can hear you, Parker calls. And if I wanted to kill you, I'd use the ventilation system. It has 7 weaknesses I could exploit with a pocket multi-tool. His tone is so casual it chills me. Phase 1 complete, he announces. Now we need to rewire junction boxes in maintenance shaft Alpha 7. That area's damaged. Structural integrity is questionable, I warn. Yeah. That's why I'm going in. That's suicide, Garl says. Radiation's bad for you, Parker shrugs, but humans have short-term resistance. I'll feel like garbage, but I'll live. You're risking your life for a transport schedule. Parker hesitates. Let's just say I have important reasons to get to Vega Prime. I'll go with him, Plex volunteers. My species tolerates radiation. Great. I need a toolkit. We bring him our best. This is your emergency kit, he snorts. My nephew has better tools in his toy box. He grabs what he needs. Why are you an engineer? I ask. Your species is known for conquest. He snorts. Propaganda. For every human soldier, there's 1,000 with wrenches. We conquer by building. Roads, ships, cities. And when something breaks, everything can be fixed, he says. Sometimes you just need to be angry enough. With that, he and Plex vanish into the shafts. 3 hours pass. Atmosphere drops. Morale drops faster. We evacuate who we can to Central Core. Any word? I ask. Nothing, sir. Then, flickers. Lights brighten. Garl gasps. Backup life support is online. 62% and climbing. We cheer. Still not enough to survive, but progress. Then the comms crackle. Phase 2 starting, Parker says, strained. Where's Plex? She's fine. Had to send her back. I'm headed for the comm array. It's destroyed, I say. Damaged. Not dead. I can fix it. You can't. Trust me. I do. Against all logic. We reroute power. Another hour ticks by. Plex returns, injured. He's building a new focusing dish. From spare parts. Impossible, Garl insists. Tell him that. Minutes later, signal incoming. Weak. But there. On screen, Parker, grease-streaked, smiling like a lunatic. Behind him, a bizarre contraption of food replicator parts and duct tape. It ain't pretty, he says, but it'll reach Taurus Minor. How? No time. Boost power by 40%. That'll drain life support. 10 minutes. Then shut it down. I nod. Do it. We watch as Parker sends the signal. Boom. Section 22D explodes. Parker. No response. Silence. But the signal was received. And then, an hour later, the doors open. Devon Parker, burnt, bleeding, smiling. "You should see the other guy," he mutters, collapsing into a chair. "How are you alive?" Reinforced maintenance closet. The GEC outpost received the signal. Rescue in 68 hours. Perfect, he grins. Just enough time for Phase 3. What's Phase 3? He leans forward. Now we weaponize this station. Because if there's one thing humans are better at than fixing things. He pauses. It's making sure they don't get broken again. And for the first time in my long, exhausting career, I believe we might just survive, all because of one angry human engineer. Our atmospheric regulators are failing, down to 23% capacity. 9 hours until we suffocate in space. Our evacuation pods. All jettisoned during the Krell ambush before they warped away. Every possible exit, sealed by fire. "We have one other issue, sir," says my assistant, Garl. His 4 eyes blink in that annoying sequential pattern that screams panic. He pauses. There's a human on board. The room goes silent. Even the emergency alarms seem to pause, as if waiting to see what I'll say next. A human? On my station? Apparently, he was asleep in a Class B cargo container, listed as a technical consultant. The manifest says he's from the Galactic Engineering Consortium. Great. Just what we need. A snoring meat sack from a species known for blowing things up and calling it progress. Bring him here. Now. 10 minutes later, the door hisses open, and in strolls the most unimpressive biped I've ever seen. Stained jumpsuit, messy head fur, eyes too small for any respectable skull. He glares around the room like we're the ones who've interrupted his day. "Who's in charge of this floating disaster?" he growls. I extend my spinal segments and reply with all the dignity I can muster, "I am Chief Security Officer Zorben Vex." "Anne." "Yeah, great," he interrupts. "Your regulators are screwed. You've got maybe 9 hours of air left. And unless one of those tentacles is hiding a miracle, you better start listening to me." "And you are?" "Devon Parker. Senior Engineer, GEC. Was supposed to be in cryosleep till we hit Vega Prime. But your lovely station-wide fireworks show woke me up." One of my junior officers dares to snort. I glare daggers. Parker doesn't seem to care. "We've been hit by a Krell battle group," I inform him. "Evac pods destroyed. Comms fried. Life support failing. We are, how do you humans say it? Screwed." Parker just smirks. "This isn't even the worst Monday I've had this month." He shoves past my crew, pulling up schematics on the nearest terminal. "Show me the layout. Now." I want to throw him out an airlock. Instead, I nod to Garl. Within minutes, Parker is barking orders. "The backup life support in Section 47B is still functional," he says. "But it's isolated. We reroute the oxygen lines manually, get the airflow pumping into the habitat rings. That's impossible without specialized equipment," Plex protests. Parker smirks. "Watch me." And over the next hour, we do. With nothing but swearing, tools, and sheer human stubbornness, Parker overrides safety protocols, bypasses controls, and yanks the station back from the brink of death. When I ask if it's safe to give a human full access to our systems, he answers without looking up. "If I wanted to kill you, I wouldn't need access. The air system in this room alone has 7 flaws I could exploit with a paperclip and a bad mood. It should terrify me." Instead, I let him keep going. Within hours, he's rerouted air, manually stabilized systems, and bought us 3 extra days of breathable atmosphere. But we still can't call for help. Phase 2 begins. Parker insists the destroyed communications array can be salvaged. We protest. The focusing dish was vaporized. "Wrong," he says. "Damaged." He cannibalizes half the station, pulls pieces from food replicators, med bays, even a toaster, and builds a new focusing dish from scratch. This'll reach Taurus Minor, he says. But we need to boost power. That will drain our life support, Garl warns. It's a calculated risk, Parker replies. 10 minutes, full power, then cut it. We do it. The message goes out. Then the array explodes. We assume Parker died with it. Until the door hisses open again, and in he limps, bleeding, burned, and grinning. You should see the other guy, he says, and collapses into a chair. The message got through, I inform him. Good, he says. Just enough time for Phase 3. You want to what? Weaponize the station, Parker says, as casually as if asking for a snack. This is a research platform. Not anymore. He asks what our most dangerous experiment is. I hesitate. Then tell him the truth. We've got a micro-quantum singularity. Contained. Studying gravitational anomalies. His eyes light up. Perfect. We show him the lab. The black hole floats like a dead star, no bigger than an atom, with the gravity of a moon. Parker stares at it like it's art. We're gonna build a gravitational lance, he says. A focused beam of hypergravity. We'll slice Krell's ships in half. That's suicidal. Only if I get it wrong. For 12 hours, the station becomes a construction zone. Parker builds the unthinkable, a gravity weapon powered by a black hole. He even modifies our sensor array to become a gravity radar. When Krell's ships return, 4 of them, including a heavy cruiser, we power down. Dead station. Bait. They approach. Parker whispers, showtime. He fires. The cruiser folds in on itself like paper, crushed by an invisible hand. The remaining ships scatter in panic. But Parker isn't done. They regroup. He asks us to spin the station, rotate it to sweep the lance like a scythe. It's insane. It might tear the station apart. We do it anyway. He fires again. 2 Krell ships die instantly. 1 evades. And just when we think we're doomed, the last Krell ship explodes. A GC transport vessel arrives, weapons hot. Thought you could use a hand, says Captain Takumi. Perfect timing, Parker sighs. Told you my ride never runs late. You turned our research station into a weapon of mass destruction, I tell him. For a wedding, he replies. My daughter's getting married on Vega Prime. I wasn't gonna miss it. Later, as repairs begin and the galaxy returns to spinning normally, I look over the schematics he left behind. Gravity lances, radar systems, wild ideas drawn from rage and necessity. One day, I might report him. Or maybe not. Because I've learned something valuable. The most dangerous weapon in the galaxy is one angry human with a deadline.